you had suggested we talk about our experiences too. Did you want me to talk about one of mine?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know if you had sort of like, I don't want to push people to do anything, but I wasn't sure if you had said everything you were willing to say earlier. But I would love to hear however much you would love to share. Yeah, you would want to share.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'd only thought of the two other experiences that I'd had until this podcast when I thought of the sort of bad trip on mushrooms that I had. But that's maybe the more interesting one to talk about here. Um, so yeah, it was like very painful. And I kept wanting it to end, and it had a cyclical nature.
Hmm.
And it was funny because there was this friend or acquaintance that I'd had. I was with a very small group of people, but this guy and I ended up embracing and comforting each other, which was kind of weird. Like we didn't know each other that well. And we later became friends, but it was weird that we kind of just ended up like embracing each other and kind of comforting each other. But yeah, yeah, I remember. So we were in the woods a little ways off from a road, and I remember a truck driving by, and it seemed in my memory the lights on in the cab, but and I remember looking in and just so I'm realizing there's this person in normal life driving a truck as we're going through this enhanced kind of experience. And kind of looking at it, not able to comprehend how that person could be doing something simply like driving a truck with all the myriad kinds of thoughts that are always in our head. So I had this idea that, yeah, I wasn't going through what I was going through that was different than normal, but more like I was just realizing what was always going on in our heads. It's just we don't really aren't consciously aware of it or something like that. For some reason, I was thinking that I'm not in an altered state, but I'm in just a more aware state of how things always are for us.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that was one weird part of that. Another was that I remember sort of in the sort of visual of my mind, this big, dark, kind of spherical space. All the people in my life were kind of inhabited like different levels and things, and they all kind of came to like the same level.
Hmm.
Just kind of seems like it means something. Uh, and then, yeah,
But
there was
did
something.
that feel like a good thing? Like all of them. So like there was this space and they were all in it, and then they sort of equalized each other.
Yeah. It
Oh,
didn't
cool.
feel good or bad. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know. It's
Okay.
just, yeah. And then actually, there was a third thing I was going to mention, but I can't remember it right now. So.
Ah,
But then, yeah, maybe sort of like a little tiny bit like the account that we read, how it affected him days later. I remember it affected that trip, kind of affected me weeks up to like weeks later, just kind of remembering the different state of mind and just being
hmm.
affected by it and kind of disturbed. Um,
Yeah. Well, what in the description you gave just now, I didn't hear anything that would clearly seem as particularly painful or
yeah, it's
disturbing.
weird.
So,
Yeah.
so like when you say painful, like do you remember feeling pain in your system somewhere, or was it just sort of like that sort of mental pain of like I don't know. I'm curious where the word painful comes from.
Yeah, I just remember it was like it was like suffering. It was like a terrible experience.
Oh,
Like I kept every moment I wanted it to end, and I kept keeping track as the cycles, the sort of mental experiential cycles passed. I was like trying to keep track of how many cycles had already passed with the sort of idea that like every one that passes, it's gonna is one less that I have to go through.
wow.
And it'll like get better. But yeah, I it wasn't like in my yeah, a particular way. It just seemed like it was just suffering. Like
Hmm.
it was very, very unpleasant. Um, I remembered another thing. Um, oh God, I forgot it again. Yeah, it's weird. Oh, this is not what I wanted to mention, but another thing that one of my another friend that I was with at the time said I did some kind of like uh some kind of horrible howling or something like that. And I vaguely remember doing that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he
Yeah. I mean,
remarked on it like he didn't even know if he could ever make some sound like that or something like that. Like it seemed to come from some weird place. Like, so yeah.
wow. Yeah, that sounds painful as hell, man.
Yeah, some kind of, yeah, it must have been some kind of expression of that. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
doing it, but I don't have any memory of what it might have sounded like or anything.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.